Hello everyone, welcome to Blue Dragon Actuarial, and this is a video on tail risk. So as we have kind of discussed and mentioned in our LinkedIn page, and if you are not following our LinkedIn page, please follow our LinkedIn page in the link is in the description. Also follow our Insta page. All the products that we are going to launch, all the services that we are going to launch will be first appearing our LinkedIn page, and then through other modes of communication such as YouTube, like this channel. So you must follow our LinkedIn page and a lot of uh, beautiful and interesting services are pending. We are working on all of those, right? So, and I just urge you to go through the Blue Dragon Universe website once and see what are the different courses that we offer. Many times we get queries from people where they do not or they are not aware of the courses or the services that we offer, and they still ask for those same services, or they are looking for those services elsewhere, which they can get here at a very reasonable price and at a very extremely high quality. So just I just urge you to kind of go through the website once. First of all, we are having a webinar. All our webinars are called Bluetooth, and this the connection or the word is derived from the word Bluetooth, which is connecting one device with another. So this is the Bluetooth, and this is for life insurance. You can come here and check the description. This would be kind of conducted on 10th of June, 4:30 to 6:30 is a 2 hours webinar, and that you can check the topics that will be covered about the topics that will be discussed in this webinar. So it is a 2 hour webinar. The video will be recorded, and you can ask questions, get your doubts clarified. I'll be taking this one, right? So then it's up to you to utilize that, but it is not a free one. It is a paid one, and then eventually, not eventually, we have decided to keep all our webinars and everything paid, because there is a section of actual students, a large section, who are accustomed to this culture of freebies, and which is very detrimental for their mindset and also for the society as a whole. So I believe that this should not be the case. And if you value quality, you should not be, kind of looking to get it for free. Recently, we received a feedback. I'm sorry, I'm just digressing from the topic, but I just want to take a couple of minutes to cover that, because that is also very important. Someone gave us a feedback that there are too much of promotions in your videos, and when in the courses there are 30 to 40% of your time you are speaking about the promotion. So I never did that, and I was like, when this feedback was received on Insta page, and my team members told me that this there is a person who is saying this. So by till now, because of our very extreme hard work, I think we have got only good feedbacks. We have not received any negative feedback, but this was a negative feedback, and I do take feedback seriously. So then, we checked and we found out that that person was the course that person was referring to. That person was not even registered in that course, and we then again asked that person, like, how have you seen the kind of how have you seen the videos. So then we got to know that that person is probably, we are not sure though, but that person is probably using the videos of someone else, like someone else has purchased our course and that then shared that with other person. So this is a very unethical thing to do, and we can easily track like who are sharing this, who are sharing the IDs, right? And if there are multiple logins from different locations, we can easily track that and penalize that and take action against them, right? But we do not want to do that. We understand that people are young, and that is how probably they are brought up. As I keep on saying, this is a upbringing issue. Unfortunately, the parents of the generation that is just before my parents' generation, that is just after my parents' generation, like 20 years from my father is 80, and people who right now are approaching 50 to 60 years, they have failed in the upbringing, and unfortunately, the generation that has followed and after that is has been miserably brought up. And that is why we see these ethical issues. We see influencers who are promoting violence and whatnot. Right. So that is a massive issue that will grow exponentially in future, and that is not looking good for India. So stay away from this sort of people. Question everything. Not everything that your parents tell you will be correct, and that is why it is very important to maintain an ethical stand. because one of the code of conduct for actuaries, if you are a qualified actuary, then you have to be ethical. That is a code of conduct. If there is a complaint against you on ethics basis, both the society will cancel your registration if that evidence is given, right? So you will be hardworking for nothing. So that is why be very careful on that. And we do take feedback seriously, but it has to be a relevant feedback. If the feedback is given by someone who is just trying to malign our image, then we can take action against that person. Coming back with actual inner engineering because of the couple of months which have the exam, we are not able to do this course. This is our monthly course. So this time we are going to work on universal life module, and or it's kind of similar to the whole life and also to the unit link policies. So if you are interested, you can register for this course. It will be done over the weekend, like the next weekend, right, for 3 hours, and it will be conducted over 2 days, right? So you can see some demo videos here. If you want, you can reach. If you have any confusion, you can reach out to admin@bluedragonuniverse.in. That's it. So now coming back to the topic, what is tail risk? So the meaning of the tail risk is basically it means a rare event. Tail means this. So usually we consider every distribution is normal. That is why it is called normal distribution, because eventually over a period of time, everything will follow this well shape curve. Be it your promotion, be it your maybe physical fitness, be it your life, right? It will start from maybe on the below average side, and then it will peak, and slowly as you age it will start to go down, right? So tail event or tail risk means something that is happening here or maybe here, right? We have not drawn the diagram here, or this picture do not have any diagram here, but it does just means that you are in an exceptional situation, right? This is an exceptional risk, like we said, this cat has very long tail, right? Something like this. The bigger is your tail, right? That means you are not at your peak, or you have reached an exceptional stage, and then you would not be limited by the restrictions of the average people or the rules of the average people. Then you yourself will be setting those rules, but in doing so you will also be competing with people who are at that level, so they are much more powerful than the average, and in that case you might end up having a bigger risk. So tail risk basically means that the risk is exceptional, it's a rare event, right? And rare event can only happen to rare people. So even if you are experiencing such a risk, and if you are at that level, so then that is a very good thing. So I hope you understand the meaning of the tail risk, right? And as I mentioned, this will not be the last video on the tail risk. We are going to do multiple videos on the tail risk, right? So meaning of the tail risk basically means low frequency, right? The frequency will be much less. It will occur very, very less. Like I mentioned, very few people will reach the exceptional category. Most people will, kind of be average and will be happy to average, and they'll also tell other people to be average. So very few people will reach that level. That is why there is a hump in the normal curve at the average level, that is the 66% level. You see that hump, that is because average people stays there, and the most of the world is average, right? Like social media, it's a representation of average. That is why I was saying that upbringing has failed in the in the generation, two generation before or three generation before, and that is why we see the average swiping down towards the left, or average becoming poorer and poorer, right? So but even then, if you are in the exceptional category, even if you are kind of facing some tail risk, then also it is good. So it is a low frequency thing. Very few people will reach that level, or in this case very few risk would be there, but it is also of high severity. If it happens, then it can destroy or damage your life, right? So that is where we have to understand that tail risk is usually rare event, exceptional circumstances, but if it happens, it can come with very high degree of severity, right? So that is the definition of tail risk, right? And as I mentioned, and if we talk about marriage, unfortunately, there is no equality. Although in marriage, men and women are supposed to be equal, or even in life, men and women are supposed to be equal, but that thing does not exist in the Indian laws. The laws are biased, right? And unfortunately, if you are a man in India, especially, then marriage can cause a lot of trouble for you, and it is a tail risk. Usually, if you are married with the right person, then it might not be an issue for you. You might be living very happily. But in case you have married someone who is not that great, then it can take away your years of hard work and cause a lot of mental stress. And we've seen a lot of stories in social media about that. So I do not want to go into details of those stories, but yeah. So marriage in India is a tail risk. The reason being the laws are unequal, right? So that is the main risk. So marriages in India overall, as I said, it is a low frequency thing. So overall, the divorce rate, however you want to spell it, in India is about as low as 1.1% as per the census 2011. So it is not very high, right? Like out of 100 cases, 100 marriages, 90, almost 99% is successful in India, right? That is because we have that strong cultural values of family and we are brought up in that manner. But as I said, the upbringing has failed, so this is increasing. And although it is as low as 1.1%, it is low frequency, it can cause destruction. If especially for the males, it can cause destruction because of the reasons we are going to see. So urban divorce rate is 2.6% and rural is 0.7%. So it is even lower in rural areas because people do not have access to legal facilities, and also the legal system in India is quite slow, and people see that as a problem more than a solution. So that is why in rural India people are usually not divorcing each other, although they might stay separated. But in urban India, it is 2.6%. It is increasing. These days, there are so many options. The moment you feel bad about something about your partner, then you just switch your option, right? And it's just like changing maybe changing an app or changing your TV channel, something like that. And we, over a period of time, with the poor upbringing that we had, we unfortunately we have become less impatient these days. Reels of 20 seconds, 30 seconds are our main content, and we consume that too much. So our mindset also becomes like this 20-second, 30-second, sort of mentality. So marriages in India, over 4 lakh matrimonial disputes are pending across India. This is the current data. And as we speak, probably this 4 lakh is becoming 8 lakhs, right? So lot of cases, as I said, that legal system in India is really, really slow. And then fake allegation, over 1.3 lakh cases filed under section 498A. This is the main section in which the harassments or the divorce cases are filed, with only 15% conviction because remaining were not proved. But the problem with this section is you will be put behind bars, your entire family, if you are male, and then your parents, including your mom and your sister and your father, they will be put behind bars just because of this 498A section. And there's a lot of kind of discussion on whether it should be removed or not. But there are also other cases where people marry and the females has to face a lot of discrimination. They are adjusting to a new family, new environment, and then they are beaten up, they are burnt. And there's so many cases that we have seen in the past, that this sort of section is also justified from that standpoint. But it just depends. So there is a no clear cut answer whether this section should stay or not. But there are many activists or lobbyists who want this section to be removed, and there are many activists who want this section to stay. Right now, this section is there, and it slightly or not slightly, it kind of tilts the law in favor of the female, and that is where this fake allegation, kind of uh, cause damage to the social fabric of India or marriage, and that is why it is a tail risk. It does not happen to everyone, but or it does not happen to majority. But in whatever small amount of cases it can happen, it can have destructive impact. Moving on, lawyers' view, right? Significant number of these cases are settled outside court, like you have seen the series Suits. So, they are the main character or the main protagonist used to say that I am the best settler of cases. So, most of these cases are settled outside court, and huge sums of, kind of money are kind of in discussion. Especially if you are a celebrity, especially if you are a cricketer, we have seen such cases, and all those those can be rumors as well, right? But those are running in multiple crores, right? So you can understand that the damage that it can cause to your impact, to your income, right? So that is why it is a high severity case. So if someone just looks only at the low occurrence or lower number of occurrence, then that person is ignoring the severity, right? So you have to take a holistic view and see at both the low frequency, which is a good thing in this case, but also the high severity. And that high severity will overpower the low frequency, right? So that is the problem. And settlement amount, usually these are, once again, these are data usually in urban areas. It's an average of 50 lakhs, and 50 lakhs is no joke. Like it's a very huge amount, right? So 50 lakhs is someone's probably whole life earnings or savings, and that can be taken from that person just because of a failed marriage, and just because our laws are biased. So that is how it is. And in rural areas, it is ranging around 15 lakhs average, right? And one third to half of the husband wealth can maybe part of the settlement amount, or maybe has to be given to the wife, right? And I have seen strange cases where someone, the wife who is married to someone else after a divorce, still gets the maintenance amount for the child from the previous marriage. So all these are kind of ridiculous laws and does not make any logical sense. But that is how our laws were kind of created, and no amendment has been done in such laws. So I hope that in future that will be done. But this once again justifies that marriage is a tail risk, because these are huge amounts, right? The severity is very high. And alimony levels, which is continuous. So instead of settlement, if you are kind of having continuous flow of income, like kind of like an annuity product, then it will be like 20 to 25% of the husband's monthly income, right? So you are working hard, but then 30% is taken by the government, 25% is taken by your ex-wife, with whom you are not in good terms. Even if that person, if even if your wife is in a relationship with someone else, she is still getting this, monthly income. So you are eventually left with 50% of your income. So once again, the destruction is evident, right? And if there is child support, right? So if there is a child support involved, then it can be 70%. It can go up to 70%, right? Because 30% taken in taxes, 15%, 25% to for the maintenance of your ex-wife, and then again 20-30% for your child. So it will be such a huge dent on someone income's level, right? And along with that, you have court case, you have legal fees that you have to pay, and to the court and to the lawyers. So along with that, the mental harassment that follows is just way too much, right? So you can see that the severity of this, failed marriage is huge. And marriage is very costly in India. Usually, we Indians have a tendency to show off, especially if you belong to the northern side of India, the place where I come from. Marriage is not that a costly event. Even today, people get marriage in 5, 10 lakhs, 50 lakhs maximum. But uh, I have seen in north side of India, the marriages runs into crores. Like, and everyone here is high net worth, so every marriage is kind of in that, that level. And there are so many wastage of food and resources, but people just like to show off in marriage because they are under peer pressure. So this is the data. Middle class spend around 20 to 10 to 15, 25 lakhs, and I think this is a slightly lower figure. Probably would be much higher than that. Upper middle class, 25 to 75 lakhs, right? As I mentioned, like this is the level that I've seen in the north side of India. And this is increasing. And if, by seeing the north side, the other side of India is also copying them, right? And high net worth, obviously 1 to 5 crores, and they do destination wedding and whatnot. And ultra rich, obviously 10 crore and above, right? So recently we have Ambani's money based wedding, and I don't know how many. There was a lot of positive and negative PR on that, and then I don't know how many crores are spent in that. So you can understand that marriage is a very costly affair in India. And divorce is even costlier, right? As I already mentioned, reputational damage, social damage, not to forget about the financial damage that we have already discussed, and career disruption as well. You might be fired from your job if you are too much in the news, or someone has complained about you, right? So all of this thing can happen to you, especially if you are a man. And then, which again establishes that it is very costly affair. Sometime we have seen this divorce lead to suicides, suicide notes, suicide videos, which is just heartbreaking. And I hope this things get restricted, and people take their life more seriously. If you are alive, you can do something with that, with your life. But if you are not there, then the people who are depending on you, or the people who are who loves you, then they had to bear the brunt of this entire thing. So stay alive, face the problem, face the issues, do not run away from it. But sometimes it might be too difficult, and we are not in their shoes to understand their issues. So I think it's we cannot judge those people. But this is the biggest damage that divorce can cause, or marriage can cause. And this is the biggest impact of the tail risk that we are considering marriage to be. So mitigation, can we reduce this? So first of all, as men, we need to know our rights. Female already know their rights. I have, with whatever discussions I have around this topic with females, they are already aware of their rights. But mostly men are not aware of the rights. So you must know your rights and do thorough background checks. And there might be some red flags. So you need to highlight those, and you need to understand why those red flags are there. Especially, for example, if the family has a history of divorce, or maybe the person you are marrying probably is divorced multiple times, then something should click, and you should be very sure that you want to marry that person, right? Because that might be just an unfortunate incident with the other person as well, and you should not judge other person based on that. But it should not be a trend, or it should not tell something, right? So data is very important. Like they say, data is the new oil, and you have to understand that you need to mitigate our risk, because it is the law is against us, law is against men, so we have to do these checks more thoroughly. Then prenuptial agreement. So many people I kind of discussed with, they think this is legal because of the Hindi movies and Hollywood series that they see. But actually, prenuptial agreement in India is not legal. It has no legal standing, because marriage in India, especially as per the Hindu Marriage Act, it is not considered a contract. So that is why you cannot have an agreement, right? So it is like a union of souls or something like that. It's a cultural thing in India, and that is why prenuptial agreement is not valid. But if you have signed something like that, then the court will take into consideration, because that shows the mindset of the female and the male, and then that mindset can be given due consideration. And if you are devising a prenuptial agreement, which although has no legal standing, but that has some say in the, if the matters get to that level, then you must draw this distinction of asset division, which is one mitigation technique, and also what will happen, or how can you resolve resolve your conflict, right? So that should be part of your agreement. Right. So moving on, also marriage insurance, although this is a thing that is prevalent in the Western countries, especially in US, it is not prevalent in India. It is a hypothetical product. So I hope some insurance company is seeing this video, or have this thought process, and they launch this product, get approval from IRDA, and then they come up with this product. Right. So this is something that can disrupt the market, considering the number of divorce cases and everything else. So I think this is something that I hope that a startup will take into consideration, and disrupt the market and that will help the societal order as well. And finally, you can also quantify your risk, right? So you can keep a fund like you keep a reserve in the actual sector, but that is not a full-fledged solution. So that is just a kind of uh, a thought process to mitigate your risk, but it will not eliminate your risk, right? So that is why we calling this mitigation, right? However, the best way is to avoid marriage completely. If you like a person, be committed to that person, stay with that person in some other form of relationship. But if you are afraid that your property or your hard-earned wealth would be taken by someone else, there is no need for you to marry, and that is probably the best situation or best solution right now, given the legal fabric of India is kind of tilted towards female. So that is what I would like to suggest. And but yeah, I'm not against marriage. Maybe one day I'll also marry. But the problem that I see here with the current law, it is too much of a risk for men. And there is no such strong mitigation that is available as we have discussed. So that is why one bad decision can take away your years of hard work, and that is why it is very important that you mitigate your risk. So if you are sure that the person you are marrying is a great person and would not do such things, right, would not frame you for something that for the mistake that you have not committed, then it is great, go ahead, right? But if you have even slight doubt, then marriage is probably not the best thing to do right now in India. Finally, look before you leap. Like I mentioned, you can see this person jumping, but just be careful. As I said, do a thorough family background check and consider all the red flags if you see any. Right? So thank you for watching this video, and I hope you appreciate this kind of unconventional topic that we bring to you, and as an application of our knowledge. And I will be looking forward to you enrolling in our courses, webinars, and whatever we are going to create. So have a good life. See you in future videos.